Hi, students. How are you doing? Welcome to my sim. And thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. I came across this video and I thought I'd share this with everybody because this is a wake-up call for Black people and every person of color, Asians, Hispanics, Mexican, all of you. This is going to affect me, affect Black people, and it will affect you people too. So this is more like a wake up call because I see a lot of Asians, I see a lot of Hispanics, including some Black people, also blowing all their trumpet for Trump, right? Now, I don't know if you already have heard Project 20 to 25 that has been all over, but have you seen this Project 2025 chapter 3, page 73? Your civil rights is going to be taken away from you. And you all know what Black people and every other person fought so hard to gain this civil right. Now it is about to be taken away from you. And the earlier you all act, the better for everybody. Why am I saying this? They actually think that you cannot do anything, or you can. How can you be intellectually smart to qualify for a certain position if it is not affirmative action or DEI, right? You all already in Asians, shout out to you all. You all made it possible for affirmative action to be struck out because you all believe that we are the ones benefiting more from it. But you know what? Stay glued. Let's get into this.
Someone encouraged me to read Project 2025, Chapter 3, page 72, and now I'm encouraging you to do the same. They are attacking civil rights. They are undermining the Civil Rights Act. If you are a person of color who is thinking about supporting Project 2025 and or voting in support of Project 2025, I want you to understand that you are voting against yourself. You are voting against your own best interests. You are voting for your demise. And you are quite literally voting your right.
I am so happy that there are more and more young people who are speaking out against Donald Trump and the Republican Party and are talking about Project 2025. This is Chapter 3. This is the section you are looking for. And if you can see it, page 72. Let's read it together, shall we? I'll be looking over here because I've got it up on my monitor on the big screen. You know, my eyes. It should not be impossible even for a large national government to hire good people through merit selection. The government did so for years, but it has proven difficult in recent times to select personnel based on their knowledge, skills, and abilities. KSA, knowledge, skill, and abilities, as the law dictates. Yet for the past 34 years, the U.S. Civil Service has been unable to distinguish consistently between strong and unqualified applicants for employment. As the Carter presidency was winding down, the U.S. Department of Justice and top lawyers at the OPM contrived with plaintiffs to end civil service IQ examinations because of concern about their possible impact on minorities. The OPM had used the Professional and Administrative Career Examination General Intelligence Exam to select college graduates for top agency employment. But Carter administration officials, probably without the president's informed concurrence, abolished the PACE through a legal consent court decree, capitulating to demands by civil rights petitioners who contended that it was discriminatory. The judicial decree was to last only 5 years, but still controls federal hiring and is applied to all KSA tests even today. General ability tests like the PACE have been used successfully to assess the usefulness and cost-effectiveness of broad intellectual qualities across many separate occupations. Courts have ruled that even without evidence of overt, intentional discrimination, such results might suggest discrimination. This doctrine of disparate impact could be ended legislatively or at least narrowed through the regulatory process by a future administration. Which administration would that be? Y'all can comment that down below. In any event, the federal government has been denied the use of rigorous entry examination for 3 decades, relying instead on self-evaluations that have forced managers to resort to subterfuge such as pre-selection friends or associates that they believe are competent to obtain qualified employees. In 2015, President Barack Obama's OPM began to introduce an improved merit examination called USA Hire, which it had been testing quietly since 2012 in a few agencies for a dozen job descriptions. The tests had multiple choice questions with only one correct answer. Some questions even required essay replies. Questions that would change regularly to depress cheating. President Donald Trump's OPM planned to implement such changes, but was delayed because of legal concerns over possible disparate impact. Courts have agreed to review the consent decree if the Uniform Guidelines on Employee Selection Procedures setting the technical requirements for sound exams are reformed. A government that is unable to select employees based on KSA-like test qualifications cannot work, and the OPM must move forward on this very basic personnel management obligation. So, what Project 2025 is calling for, they want to be able to test applicants who apply for federal positions. Their claim, they want to be able to assess applicants based on their KSA, knowledge, skill, and abilities. What's the underlining dirty implication of this? The underlining dirty implication of this is that black people who are currently working for the federal government, they got that job because of affirmative action. They got that job because of diversity, equity, inclusion, not because they are qualified for the position. There are other ways to assess an applicant's skills, their experience, their education. There are other ways to assess that other than this biased test that President Carter got rid of decades ago. Without a doubt, whatever test they implement, should Donald Trump get back into office, it will be written in such a way that it will automatically disqualify black and brown people. Whatever system they put into place, whatever rules and laws they put into place, it will be put into place to suppress and oppress black and brown people. So when the young man at the beginning of the video said they are coming after your civil rights, they are absolutely coming after your civil rights, because it was the Civil Rights Act that forced President Carter to remove such biased testing. Okay? Are we clear? I hope we're clear. It's all in Project 2025. All you have to do is read it.
If you're black, should you care about Project 2025? I don't know. I'll give you the facts, you tell me. Before the Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964, black people were just not allowed to be in public spaces with white folks, not allowed to vote in certain places, getting lynched and murdered, things like that. But Martin Luther King and others paved the way for the Civil Rights Act, and it changed things, and he basically gave his life for it. And the pioneers of the Civil Rights Act, Martin Luther King included, put in the disparate impact standards, which simply put stops institutions from discriminating against black people in non-traditional ways, right? In non-explicit ways. You can't tell a black person you don't want to give him a loan because you don't like the way he wears his pants, right? And the protection from discrimination that part of the bill gave black people has been instrumental in allowing us to access capital, create jobs, and be active members in the American economy. And Project 2025 calls for the doctrine of disparate impact to be ended legislatively. If you don't believe me, that's fine. Go read it. It's in Project 2025, Chapter 3, page 72. Does this have anything to do with Donald Trump? I mean, the other day he said on Truth Social that he doesn't know anything about Project 2025. Well, he doesn't have to. We were already living in phase 1 of Project 2025 because the folks that authored this project were all Trump's staffers. Paul Dance, the main author of Project 2025, was Trump's appointee to the United States Office of Personnel Management. King Cuccinelli was one of the authors of the section on Homeland Security. He was Trump's Secretary of Homeland Security. Trump doesn't have to endorse it. He already had the people who wrote it in power.
3, page 72. Chapter 3, page 72. Don't vote your rights away because you've been bamboozled. Lord knows there's enough things out here bamboozling you. Don't do it to yourself. Chapter 3, page 72. Do yourself a favor. If you have not read this, and you are on board with this, you deserve everything that you get. Chapter 3, page 72.
So this is all I got from the video. Sincerely speaking, the whole thing is very scary because the fact that black people can never. I don't know if it's we are not doing enough. That is what they are trying to tell us. We are not good enough. We can never do anything to please anybody. We can never do enough to please anybody. But we are not actually trying to please anybody. But the fact that they question everything that we do or everything that got to do with us is just something very, very crazy. Now, I do not think this isn't kind of new because if you have watched, if you listen to most of my commentaries, I definitely might have been saying something like this because I have watched them say things like black people are not intellectually great, right? They are built for labor. I have also brought videos here where somebody said, if I see a black pilot, I am definitely going to ask if he is qualified to be there, right? I have also brought here where somebody said that if I see a black doctor, what am I supposed to tell him? What am I supposed to talk with him? I have also watched coach said that this job is meant for us. He's a coach. And he said that the coaching job is meant for them because that is what they know how to do it best. That it is not meant for people that look like me because we cannot handle the managerial skills of being a coach, right? So this is not the first, this is not the last time that I have heard this. Now, the scary part is that it is already included in Project 2025. That makes it even scarier. That's why people are running helter-skelter. Now, let me tell us this. I think if you go to chapter 3, page 72, that is where you will say, I see a lot of Hispanics, Mexicans, they're all the same, right? I see a lot of them, even most Asians. I am not saying Black people are also. I see a lot of them also coming up to speak that if it is not Trump, it is nobody, right? Now, I want most of us to know that most of your rights are going to be taken. And if you are going to be comfortable watching your rights taken away from you, when you have a right to vote against someone that will make life not great for you. This is an eye-opener to what is going to happen, because how all this Project 2025 leaked was just, I don't know how it all came to light. Because all this while, Donald, he has been trying to exempt or he's been trying to say that he has nothing to do with it, only for videos to surface to find out that he is also part of the Heritage Foundation that started with this Project 2025. And I want Black people to know, I want Hispanics to know, I want Asians to know, I want people of color in general to know that some certain things are in your palms. The earlier you start changing your mind about some certain things, the better for you. Why? Because you all are going to hear it hard. It is not going to be great. But one thing I have promised everybody is, including white, Black, people, every other people of color, is that anything you do now, I mean, like if there is any mess that happened, trust me, Black women are not serving democracy this year, next year, and other years to come. So it is left for you all to know that you are supposed to do the right thing. And moreover, you are not supposed to camp or based on somebody serving democracy for you. You should do the right thing at the right time so that you won't start crying in the end or start saying, had I known, or you all told me this, but we never listened, right? Because this particular one is going to rob me and you of so many rights. Now, you all already know that affirmative action agents, you all were the ones that did it. Kudos to you. DEI also is being struck out, because now what they are saying is that if I see any Black person in any maybe federal job or this thing and all that, I am going to think that they did not get it by merit, right? They will think it is by affirmative action or by DEI. So to them, they do not even believe that we can actually do anything for ourselves. That was also one of the reasons why I see medical doctors, graduating doctors, but I think last 2 years, when they graduated, Black, amazing, beautiful students graduating from medicals and all of that, the video that broke out was heart-wrenching, because they are asking, would you trust yourself with these people? That was the question they are asking. They ask. So if you think this Project Civil Rights Act is not going to affect you, or for now you feel it's not going to affect you, so for that reason, let me do what I want to do, it will eventually affect you. If it did not affect you directly, probably because it will affect your children or your brothers or your sisters. So the earlier we all wake up to be smart, to know that, we really have to be smart enough to tackle something, the better for us. So this is a wake-up call for Black people, Asians, every person of color, because it is us that was suffering. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.